You can stuff your taboos!
I guess it's true though, right? Oh yeah! How can people not like Kamari, man? Just because he doesn't talk much? People are like, oh, Kamari doesn't have much to do in the story. Look at him, he's always the one there. He cares the most. Maybe not the most. But he cares in a big way. He just doesn't care either. Go on, in we go. So only room for one. I love those weird, like, silk feather things on the other side of the door. They're always cool. Oh my god, we're entering a chamber of the faith, guys. We're really breaking everything about Yevon. It's Yuna.
What's that?
A faith. They join with the summoner, and together receive the Aeon.
And another thing to consider, Auron came in too. Auron doesn't care either. That's actually, that's important.
They are human souls, imprisoned in stone by ancient Yevon rites. The dead should be allowed to rest.
And we recognize that boy, don't we?
Yuna!
So the faith has merged with the summoner, granting her a new Aeon. What's really interesting about there, though, is the shape of that faith.
Wait! Don't come out!
And if you listen to the song in there as well, it was a little boy singing. That was, that faith. Oh my god.
There's the last of them. You are to stand trial.
I expect it will be a fair trial.
Of course it will.
Oh, somehow I don't believe you, Keenock. Alright, we have now got the Aeon Bahamut. Bahamut is a big character, appeared in many Final Fantasies. Some Final Fantasies have had more than one Bahamut summon. There's like Bahamut Zero. There are other versions. Why can't I bring any of them to my mind? But, you know, I think Final Fantasy VII had 3 different Bahamut summons. Bahamut in most Final Fantasies is a very powerful dragon character. The very first Final Fantasy had a Bahamut. I think he was the one that... He was just like this powerful dragon you visited in a mystic cave. The first Final Fantasy, let me get this straight, was like very classic fantasy, you know, almost feels like a D&D setting, right? But in that game, you would visit Bahamut, this giant dragon in a cave, and he would like tier up the classes of all your characters. Like he'd make your black mage into a sorceress or whatever it was, you know, your warrior into a knight or a paladin or whatever the names were. So Bahamut has always been a big part of this series. Bahamut is one of your most powerful Aeons in Final Fantasy X, and you might expect him to be a water summon, right? Because we've had the other ones, but as I explained when we got Shiva, there is no water summon in Final Fantasy X. So this guy is non-elemental, just like Valifor, and yeah, he's a dragon, so they're both like flying sort of non-elemental summons. Really kind of interesting. We'll look at him more later. What's cool is if you were to rewind and look at that scene in the Chamber of the Faith there, you'll find lots of symbols across the walls. Every single Chamber of the Faith, because you can eventually visit all of them, they have different symbols for different Aeons, but curiously Bahamut, who does have a symbol, and his symbol is linked with the Bevelle symbol, curiously his doesn't appear in that chamber, and it's the same as the Valifor symbol. Maybe that was something accidental from the devs, maybe it was on purpose, because the Valifor symbol is also like Buddhist or whatever for nothing, and people draw all these like literary themes to do with that. They say because Valifor is a typeless summon, it has the symbol of nothing associated with it. The same with Bahamut. There's all like these weird things you can go into. But yeah, Bahamut, very cool. And we've been formally accosted now. No more fighting, no more running. We've got the Aeon, but we have been caught by Yevon. Save current game. Long time since we've seen one of those. Do you remember last time we saw one of those? I was like, I thought of doing a challenge once where you only save when those come up. God, imagine if you got a game over against Evray, and then you had to go all the way back to Luca or whenever it was. Operation Mihen, maybe? Jeez. The speedrun world record, by the way, for this game is only like 10 hours. Really interesting.
The High Court of Yevon is now in session.
Those are the symbols. So there you can see the top symbol is the symbol of Yevon we're more than familiar with. At the bottom you've got Zanarkand. The other ones mean various things. I think there might be different aeons or temples. I will pause one more time during this cutscene. It's a long one. It's a great one for politics and stuff. But I'll just let you guys know who's participating in this conversation.
The sacred officers of this court seek nothing but absolute truth in Yevon's name. To those on trial, believe in Yevon and speak only the truth.
So that is, this is it, okay? This is the only character I think we won't recognize. This is Maester Kelk Ronso. I don't think we've seen him yet in the story. He's the final Maester that we haven't met yet. And he is serving, I guess, as sort of like a judge during this trial.
Maester Kelk Ronso.
Summoner Yuna, you have sworn to protect the people of Yevon, true?
Yes.
Then consider. You have inflicted dire injury upon Maester Seymour Guado, conspired with the Albed and joined in their insurrection. These are traitorous and unforgivable crimes that disturb the order of Yevon. Tell this court what possessed you to participate in such violence.
Your Grace. The real traitor is Maester Seymour. He killed his father Jiskel with his own hands.
What is this?
Hadn't you heard?
Not only that, Maester Seymour is already dead.
It is a summoner's sacred duty to send the souls of the departed to the far plane. Yuna was only doing her job as a summoner.
Grand Maester Micah, please send Seymour now.
Send the unsent to where they belong?
Yes.
I don't like the sound of that.
Maester?
Send the dead? You would have to send me, too.
What? Grand Maester Micah is a wise leader. Even in death, he is invaluable to Spira.
Enlightened rule by the dead is preferable to the misguided failures of the living.
Life is but a passing dream, but the death that follows is eternal.
Men die, beasts die, trees die, even continents perish. Only the power of death truly commands in Spira. Resisting its power is futile.
But what of sin? I am a summoner, my lord, like my father before me. I am on a pilgrimage to stop the death that sin brings. Are you telling me that too is futile? Grand Maester Micah, I am not alone. All the people who have opposed sin, their battles, their sacrifices, were they all in vain?
Not in vain. No matter how many summoners give their lives, sin cannot be truly defeated. Their rebirth cannot be stopped. Yet the courage of those who fight gives the people hope. There is nothing futile in the life and death of a summoner.
Never futile, but never ending.
Oh, or a renewal of this!
Indeed, that is the essence of Yevon.
Lord Micah.
Yevon is embodied by eternal, unchanging continuity, Summoner.
No. That can't be right.
Those who question these truths, they are traitors.
Lord Micah!
You know, the one line that I really like in that cutscene, I don't know why, in that whole scene, is when Yuna says, "I am not alone."
Get me out of here! I want out now! You hear me?
You waste your breath.
Man, I hope Yuna's okay.
She is strong. She'll make it.
She'll make it? What, so she can die? Why is it everything in Spira seems to revolve around people dying?
The spiral of death.
Huh?
Summoners challenge the bringer of death, sin, and die doing so. Guardians give their lives to protect their summoner. The Faith are the souls of the dead. Even the maesters of Yevon are unsent. Spira is full of death. Only sin is reborn, and then only to bring more death. It is a cycle of death, spiraling endlessly.
I wanted to talk to you guys about that back in Kirlika, when we first heard of the unsent and sending and stuff. Man, we had to wait a while.
Come out. Your sentence has been decided.
Sentence? Don't you mean execution?
Really now, what person would execute a dear friend?
You would.
Oh, snap. Man, I want to know more about their history. You don't get enough about what those two went through as warrior monks together. This screen here, you may recognize from the Jekt sphere we got in Macalania Forest. Jekt was once held here. We saw Braska, Oran, and Jekt all in this one particular place. Great, and we're being held at gunpoint around a pool with spikes pointing downwards to stop us climbing out.
Looks like you're next.
Next for what?
Get going.
Where's everybody else?
Floating down there somewhere, maybe?
Oh wow, so this is our sentence. Man, something about really cool is about to happen, by the way. Like how we play the next bit.
You made it!
Hey, Waka! And Riku.
What's our sentence?
Think they expect us to give up and die down here.
Oh, well, that's a lame way to kill someone.
Where's Uni?
I don't know.
Wonder if we should wait for her.
Let's wait at the exit.
Exit.
If there is an exit.
So, once again, our party is split.
How fares the Ronso Maester?
It seems my father's murder troubles him.
Ever the Ronso. Hard-headed, hardly usable.
However, the summoner Yuna, daughter to High Summoner Braska, she may be of some use to us alive.
She has disturbed the order of Yevon. She cannot be allowed to live.
I understand.
Let it go, Seymour. No one thrown into the Via Purifico has ever survived.
Yet there is always a small chance that they might. Place guards at the exit. Kill any who emerge.
Sir, leave that to me.
First your father, now your bride.
Allow me to do this because she is my bride.
Wait, I will go too.
You do not trust me?
Would you trust a man who murdered his father?
Very well. As you wish.
Oh man, even a little bit of disturbance between the maesters. We got a lot to talk about, guys. We got a lot to talk about.
Lady Yuna, forgive me.
Who was that? That was Isaru. Oh my god, here we go. To the condemned. Stone panels are scattered throughout the Via Purifico. Step on 1 to transport yourself to the next panel in the indicated direction. Nothing will happen if there's no panel to receive you at the far end. That panel thing looks like, you know how I said a lot of the gameplay feels like it's contracted in Bevelle? Feels like this was going to be a big dungeon, big part of the game, but actually those panels are almost useless. Welcome to the Via Purifico. This is a really cool part of the game. Where's Titus? Nowhere to be seen. We are in control of Yuna right now. Yeah, that's right. With Yuna alone. All this time she's not been with us. She's back now. She, for this reason, she tends to, you know, get a bit behind other people, I find, on the sphere grid. I wonder if they make her sphere grid path a bit shorter. But yeah, before we start playing in the dungeon, a couple of things about those cutscenes. One thing that was really cool in Luca, that was foreshadowing, like, this thing with Mika. When you first get off of the boat, and they explain, oh, Maester Micah has been in charge of Yevon for like 50 years now or whatever. Titus says, whoa, shouldn't he be retired? And then everyone looks like really offended, and Wacker even tells him to shut up. That's like suggesting, yeah, he's been about too long. It's because he's an unsent. He's not aging anymore because he's dead. Really cool, and I almost screamed that out when it originally happened. I actually think I did say something about it, but then I ended up editing it out because it was too much of a tell. So, Via Purifico. Why have we been thrown in here and not just executed? It would be the smart thing for Yevon to do to execute us, right? But they don't. They throw us in here, and obviously this is our slim chance at escape. A lot of people do criticize the story of Final Fantasy X for this. The best theory I've heard about why they do it this way is that there's some kind of law that we've never heard of that says, you know, execution is inhumane and should never be done. Something like that, right? But maybe there's evidence to the contrary elsewhere. I like to sort of go with that just to pave it over a bit. It seems that they throw everyone in the water, everyone, including, you know, Yuna and that lot, because Yuna can't swim. She like ends up on land, and so she's here while the others, you know, just our swimmers are off doing their own thing there too. So let's have a bit of an explore around. We could save as well. That would be really nice. Lots of cutscene. I love that bit of that whole section of politics and stuff in Bevelle. I think it's so good. And you know, the one maester that seems somewhat legit, somewhat nice, somewhat, you know, reasonably offended by the fact Seymour's a murderer, is the one maester we never met, Kel Cronso. We barely had any time to talk to him, and he seems to have just left. And yeah, Keenock is with Seymour somewhere. We just heard Isaru's voice. What's going on with him? Alright, so, the Via Purifico. Let's just start traveling around. We should get a cutscene, or an encounter pretty quickly. I had multiple encounters before I got this far. You are alone as Yuna if you get an encounter here. You really are. So we'll have a look down here. And straight away you'll see we got a preemptive strike. But how is Yuna meant to deal with all of these guys? Well, she's a summoner. She can actually deal with herself fairly well at this point. And we can check out Bahamut. Just makes you think as well, if she was throwing herself off of that palace just after she got Bahamut, she could have summoned him to catch her. That was so cool, that thing with Valefor as well. Like, it was the last thing I was expecting. I genuinely thought she was like going to kill herself.
Oh my.
The first time I played the game, and look, she's all shocked by his ore. So he's a flyer, but he actually stays on land, so Valefor does still have this advantage that Valefor can be out of range and stuff. He is, for all intents and purposes, just like Shiva. He stands on the ground and he does his things. So here we've got regular attack, which I could show off, but why don't we do an impulse, which damages all enemies. So this is his special. Bahamut moves very little in his animations. He's just, well, this one's pretty elaborate, but he's just got a lot of grace about him. You'll see it does a ton of damage, double overkill, and a regular kill. And we mop the floor with them really nicely. So down here, is there a chest? No, but you can see some of the water, so I think this is the idea. You know, everyone sort of finds land sometimes. Some people find the water and whatever. And Waka, Tidus, Riku, who we've never played as with all 3 swimmers so far, I think. They'll all be down there. Here's a chest, though, with a Mega Potion, another inactive glyph thing. But check it out, Kimahri.
Yuna, sorry we left you alone.
No, it's okay.
I feel like one area they could have improved Kimahri's like story there would be to have Kimahri, you know, have a bit more discussion with Yuna about, you know, missing out on her, because it seems like it's been so important to him. But whatever, you know, he's a man of short words, and he remains that way even here. I do like that they sort of encourage Kimahri to be the first extra character in your party you ever meet. So yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I never showed you guys what we got from the Cloister of Trials. So here we've got 2 turns from enemies. We may as well just summon again. It will mean that Kimahri doesn't get a go, but whatever. Yeah, the reward we got from the Cloister of Trials was a Knight's Lance. It was a Kimahri weapon. It just has all the strength modifiers on it. For like a regular Kimahri, it'd actually be quite strong. You know, he'd maybe be in Auron's Path by now. He'd find that stuff really useful. But that's not the case for my Kimahri, so we probably won't equip it. While these battles are going on, there's a fair few things I wanted to talk to you about. You know when we were high up in the sky where the wedding was going on? That, the architecture there was really quite unique, right? That is actually modeled, so you'll notice Bahamut has not only tier 1 black magic, not only tier 2 black magic, but tier 3 black magic. So let's hit him with a Thundaga. It's quite distinct architecture. That is actually, I mean, that almost hit for 5k. That is specifically inspired by a real temple place in real life. Where was it? I've got it in my mini file here. The Balinese Shrine in Indonesia, apparently. I tried to wiki some images of it, but I couldn't really find anything that looked that good. So, whatever. But yeah, apparently that's all named after that, and that's always very nice. The Via Purifico is actually Latin, and it means... Oh, here's Auron. We'll have a chat with him.
There must be an exit somewhere. We search.
Sure, okay, and again, he's pretty straight down to business too. But yeah, it means road to purification in Latin, which is rather awesome, actually, if you ask me. So, we'll save it here. There is another dungeon in Bevelle, much bigger than this. As I said, there's a lot in the Bevelle Underground. I sort of consider us to be in the Bevelle Underground right now. There's a much bigger one, like the most hardcore dungeon in all of Final Fantasy X and X-2, that's in the sequel called Via Infinito. And we'll get there when we get there, but it's a fantastic dungeon. This place, you see that area with the red lights just in the distance? That's actually the end of this area. That's all you have to do. So you know what I said, how I talked about how everything feels kind of contracted here? We'll go with another Bahamut, why not? It's specifically because this is so short. You don't have to have met. You don't have to have met Kimahri or Auron. Maybe you can take a route, deliberately avoid them. You can just walk to the end.
Go! Fight on!
You don't have to spend any time here at all, and I think that's a real shame. You don't have to use any of the mechanics. But if you do hang out here, there is a lot of optional loot and things you can get. There's actually completely missable loot that drops from these enemies here, these one eyes. The loot tables are a little bit bugged here in the game, alright? In the Thunderplanes, I think I forgot to talk to you guys about some missable gear. There's like an item that one of the people in the Thunderplane sells that has a certain armor ability on it and a certain number of slots you can never get anywhere else. But whatever. So, the evil eyes here will drop stuff for Kimahri and stuff for Auron that doesn't have piercing. And there's loads of different variations of the stuff that they drop. So, people going for 100% runs, they stay here for a long time. You can't return to this dungeon after you leave it. So they stay, they grind on those evil eyes, and they get what they can. They also have cool things that they can steal from them that look like the evil eyes from the Guado, which again, you can't get at the end of the game. Here you'll see there's a gate shut that would force us from taking the most direct route north. So that's going to be a bit of a shame. Let's just keep our patrol around and see what else we can find as we go. There is one more character here. That's Lulu. Very easy to miss Lulu. In fact, in my guide, I think this will be the first time we do a fight. By the way, if they attack you with their big eye open like that, I think that means it's got a chance to confuse. This is the first time I'm going to fight without actually using an Aeon. So we'll let him have another go. But yeah, in my guide, it's pretty much perfect in all regards. It's, you know, the maps that show where all the items are, stuff. There is no problems with it at all. But look at how much damage he did. That was crazy. But and what can... He's weak to fire. That's cool. We don't even need to fear her, I doubt. We can just do a fire. It's pretty much a misclick, but there you go. In the guide, it's always been fine. Now, they have, like, keys, and they say, oh, hey, you know, if it's this symbol, it means it's a chest here. If it's this symbol, it means it's a character you can talk to for an item. Well, here, it's supposed to have, like, a special symbol for all the characters you can find, but Lulu's is totally messed up. So on my test file, I spent ages in this dungeon, and I couldn't find Lulu until I realized the guide was messed up. Anyway, so behind this gate here is, there are actually 3 chests back there, and they've all got really good loot in them. However, there's no way through those metal bars, and that's in a really secluded area of the dungeon. So the main goal, if you're doing the optional stuff in here, is to get into that room, basically. Lulu is very nearby. Here you'll find another pool of water, but no one's there. I just wonder, man. I wonder if there was going to be mechanics where you could find other players there. Maybe each pool of water was meant to have a different person in your team. We'll summon again. We haven't spent much time with Shiva. I regret that the game's like this. It basically says to you, hey, look, you can summon Shiva against Anima in the Seymour fight, and then you're not going to have control of Yuna again.
Please help us.
Until the Via Infinito. Like, seriously, the Via Purifico, sorry. I always get the two confused. And that sucks, man. What are they doing with that? These guys are weak to Blizzard too, so that would have been awesome. Yeah, it really means that you don't get to see too much Shiva. So, it's a really good idea as well to charge your Aeon's overdrives nicely while you're in this area. Which is another reason why I am an advocate for spending time here and summoning a bunch of summons. You don't need to worry about giving everyone else turns because they've had all this time to get experience away from Yuna. Let's Heavenly Strike, that'll put delay on him. Away from Yuna out in the desert and stuff. She's the one that needs to catch up, so don't feel bad about it. I think it's really deliberately done. Another Heavenly Strike. And down that Sahagin goes. Oh, I haven't seen many Sahagins. I can tell you all the places in this game where you find Sahagins. Number 1, right at the start at the Temple of Barge, where Tidus wakes up after being moved from Zanarkand. Number 2, in the Blitzball pool during the attack of the Fiends in Luca. Number 3, here in the Via Infinito. I think there might be some right at the end, but I don't know.
Lulu,
It's okay, I know.
Everyone's so adult to her. You may have noticed for a briefest of glimpse as well, there was a unique icon on our minimap up in the top corner, which was a character triangle, except it was in white. And this indicates, hey, this is a character that can join your team. Again, I just wonder with these things, what if that was more excessively used throughout the game? What if the gameplay at the start, where we were trying to light that fire, went across more of the game too? What did we just get? We just got something cool. Oh, it was a white magic sphere, my mistake. So, a white magic sphere. I'm curious what it does with customize as ever. I actually can't see what white magic spheres do. It doesn't look like they do anything, even though black magic spheres do stuff. Anyway, I don't need to explain to you guys. A white magic sphere does exactly what you'd imagine. It's the same as a black magic sphere, but for white magic. Also can be useful. Can be used to give Lulu, for example, curative magic, because she has very strong stuff. I never really established you guys, but another really good thing you can do with the black magic spheres you get is give them to Yuna. Now, obviously, you're going to be holding on to them for a while, but if you give them to Yuna, then it means Yuna can be just as offensive as Lulu. Both of them have high magic power. It's just that Yuna doesn't get any offensive magic till right near the end of the game, usually. But this is a place where you can manipulate the level up system to your advantage. A lot of people will do that. They'll give Yuna black magic. You'll notice because she was on yellow health, now that she summoned Shiva, it will she'll stay sort of staggered like that. Anyway, we'll kill this guy here. Hopefully Shiva can take a couple of hits from the other two. There we go, that's fine. Her overdrive's up as well, which is pretty good to see. I'm going to go... I know I'm on yellow, but I'm going to go with another one. I was looking away. I was looking at my little guide here while I got hit, but I don't think they can do more than 900 damage in one attack, can they? No, they can't. Okay, great. So there we go. That's Shiva's overdrive up. That's Bahamut's overdrive up. We'll keep on working our way through. We're going to heal as well because Yuna was low, right? Man, I've neglected my items so much in this series. That's fine. Okay, so those guys are healed up. We'll move down. Okay, so now you get a little bit of a decision of how you go about your chests. I would recommend coming down and doing the order I did, because this leaves you with the last regularly acquired chest, but also there's this glyph on the wall. By interacting with it, you've now started to activate the platforms in the area. And there's no real indication that that's even worked. And indeed, if you go back up into this room where you saw one last, it still doesn't do anything. So it's like, what the hell has this done? Well, you want to take a right here, and you'll find that you're coming back near the entrance of the labyrinth, or where you entered. This actually doesn't look like a very good matchup for Ifrit, but that's fine. Obviously, one advantage of giving Auron Mug this early in the game is it allows you to get some items here that maybe you wouldn't otherwise. We'll use a Ronto Rage. We haven't for a while. Let's go with... Shall we thrust kick? I haven't thrust kick anyone yet. There we go. We'll go with that Sahagin. If you missed that thrust kick up at the top of Bevelle, you do have another chance very shortly. Oh, that eject didn't work. That sucks. Why wouldn't that eject work? Weird. Maybe because there's nowhere for him to go. He should have just gone flying into the wall. It's a shame Lulu couldn't score that kill either, but hey. Alright, with that dealt with, we're almost back now. So let's talk about the music for a second. This is another Piano Connections one. I really like what they did with the music here. You guys might not be able to pick, if this is your first time ever experiencing the game, you might not be able to pick out the difference here between this track and the one we were hearing in the airship. They are different. But a lot of people were saying actually that I looked it up on YouTube, and there's a lot of people saying that they don't like this version of the track. I think it's been improved. But a lot of people saying this is one that they felt was ruined the most. It didn't have like the sorrow or the urgency that the original had, or some crap like that. I don't know whether I buy that. I think it's a really, really nice track, and I'm glad that... So one thing you can't do here, obviously, is flee from these battles, which is what I was just considering doing. You could escape, but not flee. So yeah, you guys will have to decide for yourselves what you think of that. I like the track. I think it's fine, and honestly, it's not too distinct from the original. So I think maybe this is, dare I say it, nostalgia clouding people. Alright, so now that we've activated that sphere, there's this central area we never went to before. Now this is on the other side of that gate I showed you near the end, but you'll see, now that we've interacted with that thing, this glyph is moving and the lights are flashing. This is a lot like during the Cloister of Trials stuff, yeah? Well, before you get on it, oh my god, I didn't mean to do that. And I don't even know what direction I went, so left. Fantastic. Does that unlock this to let me go back, or do I have to walk? No, yeah, okay, and this has unlocked this one now to start moving around. So that's sort of the way it works. We're going to go back the way we came. And you know, this is a cool little transportation system, but when the dungeon is so small and easily skipped, it's not even like there's any Albed primers or anything in here. What would be the point? But instead of doing that, first you just want to go further up. That's the gate I showed you, but there is this small chamber here on the right that has a chest in it, and also... Oh, excuse me, guys. I really don't remember what this thing does. Oh, yeah, I know. I remember. That moves one of the pads somewhere else. Yeah, so it dislodges this thing, sends it flying across a bunch of pads, and then it bounces into that wall over there. Would be where I explained there was a lot of really cool treasure before. So that's our next goal. That's where we're going to be headed. I may just cut till we get there. And you'll notice by doing that, actually, oh, never mind, it's actually opened up this gateway here that was impeding our progress before, which is even more awesome. So we'll grab this safe sphere. There should be like a bonus to activating all of the glyphs across the whole dungeon. I don't know. This is what I'm saying, man. Get rich, okay? Goal 1, get rich, enormously rich. Goal 2, play lots of games that I used to really enjoy as an adult, as someone with an appreciation for better game mechanics, and remake them and patch up all sort of the slightly shoddy areas.
It's not an option.
What did Lulu say? Violence is not an option? Or fleeing? Oh god, she's confused, and she has Fatal Kate Sith equipped. That's not good. Oh no, who's she attacking? Oh, she tried to attack herself, but she dodged, so... Let's not get into the mechanics of how that was possible. I think it was Fira that they're weak to, correct? Yes, it was. And since Lulu's confused, I will bring in... Ixion's very close to having her overdrive up. So, I'll bring in Ixion, do a single boost, get that overdrive done. That skill, I love that skill. It just looks so brutal. Maybe in my remake I'd add a little bit more gore. So it was actually like it got impelled. I'm not a huge fan of gore, but I do think it accentuates... It should be used to accentuate like powerful moves or, you know, significant story moments. Because I think it means so much. Anyone who watches a lot of Game of Thrones, like this most recent season, there was a really iconic scene where there was a fight between two people and it got very gory, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I mean. That's gore used well, in my opinion. Alright, anyway, so you want to step onto this thing when the arrow is facing the other side of it, which is there. And I miss these moments playing as Yuna. It's cool. Again, you can save game hack and have Yuna be the only one in your party and change your overworld character to be Yuna. So you just play Final Fantasy X as Yuna. And in theory, you could do that with many other characters too, especially in 10-2. In 10-2... Oh, no, we're not going to go there. Anyway, so look. Skill Sphere. A Lucid Ring. Lucid Ring we may actually equip to Yuna here. Because her current one's the friggin' Thunder Plains one. Silence Ward, Confuse, and Poison. That's going to be useful way up to the end of the game. Really useful. And also there is one extra chest. Hard to see, but it's right next to the door here. And that one has 10,000 gil in it. Look at that, look at us now. 130,000 gil to our name. Now we want to step back on this as it's pointing in the direction we just came from. And we'll make our way to the exit. That should be all of the treasure in the Via Purifico unlocked. For once, I called it the Via Purifico, not the Via Infinito. Throw me a bone here. Alright, let's head on out. The red room looks a little bit dangerous. In fact, it changes our battle screens and there are different mobs up here. But actually, okay, so let's charge Ifrit now. But you don't spend much time in this part of the corridor at all. So it's weird to me that they've had... I think you can find bombs in this one section. It's just odd, you know? Like a whole new type of maze lava. You only find these enemies in this entire game encountered in this one remote section. It's just odd. Anyway, so Meteor Strike, just a bit more damage than a regular attack. You notice these enemies are water themed as well. A lot of them, Sahagins around, the water flans, even this guy, the maze lava, he's water element. It really adds to the idea that this isn't the entire dungeon and maybe even the majority of it is water influenced. It's just we found some of the nicer areas here. One last trip, sorry, to the save sphere because my Aeon got damaged there. Alright, and now we're going to go through. Oh my god, I was wrong. You can't even escape from these battles, by the way. You can't escape. You have to fight these ones. I actually didn't realise that at all. Wow, I was wrong, by the way. There are no bombs, clearly, because this is like my 5th encounter in this tiny corridor, and every time it's just been the maze lava. God, I guess if you want to grind, this is a pretty unique area in that sense then. It's the only place in the game where you can just get one enemy over and over and over, except maybe those Sandragoras. Might be some other small exception. Another peaceful slumber.
Lady Yuna, so it is you.
Sorry.
Why are you here?
We rode the airship to the Calmlands, then came to Bevelle. Maester Kinnock summoned us then, ordered us to deal with the traitors.
You will fight us?
The Temple's orders are law. Even if you are Lord Braska's flesh and blood, you're a traitor.
His guardians, I don't see them.
Maroda and Passe are not here. I will do this unhappy deed myself. Forgive me, Lady Yuna.
Oh, sugar. So he doesn't have his guardians. I guess Yuna agrees I'm not going to have my guardians. That training with Belgemine, I guess it's coming into its use now. Isaru's a good guy, but you have to consider from his perspective, I can see what he's doing here. He wants to fight. He's not happy about it, but he's got to stop her. So he's the guy that ended up being placed at the exit instead of Seymour. Seymour wanted to be at the exit.
Your aeons against mine.
And it's funny because Seymour seemed, honestly, like he was protecting Yuna. He didn't want Yuna to die, and so Kinnock sent this guy instead. I doubt Seymour would have been happy about that. So what we're going to do, we're going to summon Shiva. Obviously, that's the elemental match up here. It's going to feel a lot like you're playing Pokemon. In this, some people have made the comment already before when we were against Belgemine. This feels most like Pokemon because it's literally, okay, what element matches what? We'll overdrive with a Diamond Dust here. And I'm kind of stupid for doing that. There you go, we hit max damage, 99999. That Ifrit wasn't called Ifrit. His name was actually Fist. So we got a trophy for that, 99999 damage. His name was Fist. There's a bit of an interesting story there. His name wasn't originally Fist in the first version of the game, in regular Final Fantasy X. Back then his name was, it wasn't Grothia, was it? Yeah, it was Grothia. So they changed his name from Grothia to Fist in this game. Why did they do that? Well, in the Japanese original game, his name was literally just Japanese for fist, okay?
It's not over yet.
And then when they ported it to our regions, so now we're against Valifor. I think a really cool matchup against Valifor is probably Ifrit, so let's do that. Now, and you'll notice this Valifor doesn't have his overdrive straight away, so you don't have to force things too quickly. So when they transported it to our version, they saw the name of him, Fist, and they were like, well, Western audiences will find that stupid. Why don't we call it Fist, but in a different language? So they named him Grothia, which is Latin for fist. But then they redid it in the HD remake. They decided, actually, let's go back to their original names, you know, the direct Japanese translation, and now we get the true translation in this version. The same's for this guy. So look up in the top left. The target is Wing. So his name wasn't Wing in the first version of the game for us. It was actually Pitera. I'll probably edit on the screen so you guys can see, because I wouldn't know how to pronounce that. Which was Latin for like wing or fly, and now they've changed it. So one of those weird changes. There weren't many changes for the HD remake, but this is one of them. Now, what's gonna... I mean, it doesn't look like there's any difference from meteor striking. What specials did I teach him? Oh, all of those. That's fine. You know, by the way, spamming reflex... If you want to charge Aeon overdrives, you can spam reflex slot and then boost. And then someone will attack, you'll dodge, but you'll still get the full boost from it anyway, which is awesome. So yeah, we'll just go with Black Magic. No. Let's go with a meteor strike here. Because I think Wing might have slightly more than 10,000 health. So we'll overdrive afterwards. And also, Ifrit doesn't have the elemental, you know, bonus here. So there's a chance that it won't even hit 99999. We'll go with another meteor strike. As you can see, Ifrit's pretty tanky against her. Her overdrive's going up though, so you do want to be cautious of that. We dodged, that's awesome. She gets 2 turns in a row here though, because we've been doing our more dangerous attack. Let's just go with our regular physical attack. So I really see no risk until that overdrive is full. There you go, that's much better. Nice. And we're not missing or anything. Another Sonic Rings. So there's a bit more to this translation story too. When FFX HD came out, it didn't just release on the PS3, it released for the PSP too. Come on, another one. At least get Valifor into her weak stance. Actually, that's pretty bad. Oh crap, she's gonna Energy Ray. Oh, I didn't think of this. I think we might be alright though. Oh, why are we so tanky? That's amazing! Go another one then, screw it. Sonic Wings. So yeah, it really, the PSP version, which is nearly all the same, except it's got like, you can swipe the screen to heal people and stuff, which I've talked about before. Well, in the PSP version, this weird language change has not been enacted. So he's still Petra, and it's still Fist, and it's still Wing, and so forth. And it's still Grothia. It's the Latin versions. Why was it? I just don't know. Anyway, now that she's flying slightly weak, you know that she's in yellow health, and you can probably get away with an overdrive to finish her off. Not that it was very risky in this matchup, considering Ifrit's such a tank. You might like to save your overdrive in this, just for other summons that Isaru might have. I like to score the overkills though. I don't actually think overkilling them does anything. These enemies don't drop items, they don't drop AP, they're summons, right? They're manifestations of the faith's dreams. And here we go, one final encounter. Is it a final encounter? Maybe she's going to bring out a Shiva. No, yeah, this is the last one. So this is his Bahamut. Which means, you know, if you want, you could have used your Bahamut against their Ifrit, because you can't have, you know, double up on the matchups. But, so, it was actually kind of it wasn't pointless me charging mine's overdrives, we can use it later. But yeah. So it might have been better to save your ones. In fact, it definitely would have.
I cannot let you pass.
Yeah, good luck with that, Asari. I've got a lot of other Aeons at my disposal. So let's go with Grand Summoning Ifrit here to bring his overdrive back. See how tanky Ifrit is against this guy. Now you notice Ifrit's already kind of low on health, so what I will probably do is Black Magic Fire. Just to get myself back up. And you'll see that Bahamut doesn't actually do anything except count down. And that's for his overdrives. So what I should probably do is overdrive first. And we'll Hellfire him. And then what this means is he'll probably charge his overdrive very quickly and waste it on Ifrit now, so that I don't summon someone else into a different overdrive, if that makes sense. So 9,999. And he's already in his weak stance. Countdown 3, 2. Ifrit's very slow at the moment, obviously he's out of pace. So that's brilliant. So we will dismiss here. because I think we've got time, okay? I don't want any of my guys to die. I'm a better Pokemon trainer than that. Okay, countdown 1. That's fine, though, because we'll get a turn to summon, right? Oh, no, no, no. Don't Mega Flare now. Oh, my God. I think I just lost. What is that? Why did he get 2 turns? Yuna is so screwed. Yuna is so screwed. Oh, my God. Oh, is this going to be our first game over? I think it is, guys. First game over of the LP. I can't believe I just made this rookie mistake. He's not going to take pity on us either. He was here to execute us. Oh, no. Oh, no. Apparently I'm not a good Pokemon trainer. Crap.